Breaking news, guys. The Mariners finally make something happen at the trade deadline, but is it something the Mariners fans really wanted? I was hoping, as a Mariners fan, that we were going to get a couple of league average to above league average bats for a Paul Sewald-like guy, I did say, or a guy, maybe I was thinking maybe a Brian Wu, or of course a couple of prospects like an Emerson Hancock or something along those lines. We do end up trading Paul Sewald, but it's for infielder Josh Rojas, Dominic Canzone, and infielder Ryan Bliss. And those names not super familiar, but they are from the Arizona Diamondbacks. And quickly, so right away, number 19 overall prospect Dominic Canzone for the Diamondbacks. He has played in MLB this year. His slash line isn't great. Let me pull up a slash line really quick, but not super impressive. So that's one guy right there. So right here, Dominic Canzone. He's hitting 237 with a 661 OPS. Only has 38 at bats. Really not going to do much for us this year in the major league team. If anything, he's not even going to be on the major league roster. What are you going to replace him with? AJ Pollock, maybe. He can play right field. Dominique, he's played 4 games. He's also most primarily a DH. So you're trading Paul Sewald for the first guy is DH slash right fielder who is slashing 237, 661 OPS in under 40 at bats this year. 19th best prospect in the Diamondback system, and not going to cut it. The second guy, you got Ryan Bliss, and Ryan Bliss is 29th overall prospect for the Diamondbacks. Again, just not super, not meant to be great. He's okay. He's a second round pick. His slash line is a little bit better this year. He has 350 at bats in the AAA Reno Aces affiliate with a 947 OPS, which is super good. With 13 homers, 51 RBIs, 35 stolen bases. So this guy, he's had a really good year in AAA slash AA, shortstop slash second baseman. So this guy is, even though he is the 29th best prospect for the Diamondbacks, I'm sure that number is that number would have climbed if he stayed in the Diamondbacks system. But now he's with us, so this isn't a bad guy. He could probably produce for us in a couple years, maybe even next year, but he's not going to do anything this year for us. As well, you have to think about AAA. You hit the ball super hard, the ball flies, not great pitching, so these numbers are a little bit inflated, but still, 332 with 13 home runs, 947 OPS, super, not just solid, that's elite numbers, even for AAA. Again, he's not meant to be all that, though. He's, he's 23, so not a super young prospect, not super old. Drafted 42nd overall in 2021. He's 5'6", 165, so pretty undersized, but it's baseball, so you can get away with it. And then the third guy is probably the most well-known player in the package, Josh Rojas, and he did okay for these last 2 years. In 2021 and 2022, he had over 500 plate appearances. He had a pretty good slash line, hitting over 260. But this year in 2023, not great at all. He's only playing 59 games, only has 216 plate appearances, and just overall, he's hitting under 240. It's a guy that's gonna fit right in with the Mariners this year. Just not gonna produce at a level where we need him to produce. Will he be better than Colton Wong? It's debatable. It's debatable. Will he provide more value than if we were gonna call up Sam Haggerty, or if we were gonna play Jose Caballero more? Probably, but it's still, if it's an improvement, it's very, very minor. He's not having a great year. He did hit like 260, 265, I believe, last year and the year before. So hopefully, I think Jerry and Justin Hollander are thinking that maybe that's the route that he's going to get back to that. And 270s for a second baseman, it's not awful. It isn't awful, but again, this is in a really good to elite closer you have in Paul Sewald. I mean, he's had another good solid year. Last year, a solid year. This year, a solid year. It was a big guy for you. He's been a big guy for you. Leverage spots. If he needs to come in the 8th inning, ninth inning for those last 2 innings, whatever is the harder lineup. If it's 2, 3, 4 in the 8th, you put in Paul Sewald. If it's 7, 8, 9 in the 8th, you probably put in Munoz, and then he faces 1, 2, 3 in the 9th. You know, he's been your go-to guy to get out the heart of the order for in the 8th and 9th inning, and now you got to figure that out. So you got to figure out how you're going to replace him. One option is, so obviously you have Munoz now, who's going to be your number 1 relief pitcher. He was already kind of 1A, 1B with Sewell, but Munoz has been struggling lately. Munoz has, he's arguably given up 2 games in the last 8 games. Munoz has arguably been a problem for 2 of the games. Hasn't been able to get it done. His slider is getting hit a lot. His fastball has gotten hit a lot in the past. Right now, it's definitely creating a lot more whiffs than his slider, which is kind of surprising. But Munoz, obviously super high ceiling, obviously super really good relief pitcher, but you're going to need some other guys. You need a Matt Brash to step up. Matt Brash, he's a bomb waiting to happen. It's some of the best stuff in the league, but he's gonna walk 3 guys in a row every 4 or 5 games. It's not sustainable. You don't want Matt Brash to be your primary go-to guy in the 8th and 9th inning. You have guys like Justin Topa, who has been good this year. It's been super good. But again, it's Justin Topa. Like, it's not Paul Sewald. He's solid. He'll be okay. You'll probably call up Matt Festa from AAA now. So he'll probably go up. Now Paul Sewald's gone. And he's been okay. Saucedo's been all right. We have some good players. I think our bullpen will be okay. Is it as good? No, it's not. It's not as good. Paul Sewald's a super important guy that now we don't have. And we're going to have to figure out how to replace him. And right now, I just don't think that unless we trade for a high leverage relief pitcher, which I don't think is going to happen, I don't think Jerry will do that. This is a hole. This is now a hole that we have to figure out. And it's something we're just going to have to patch for right now. We're going to have to work through guys like Saucedo, like Topa, Matt Brash. All those guys are going to have to fill in for those roles. And those guys are all super streaky, super unpredictable sometimes. So we'll see how that works. And then on top of this all, we have 3 guys, 2 of which you don't even know if they're gonna be on the major league roster, right? So one of them is not. So Ryan Bliss, he's probably gonna stay. He's gonna probably go to the Rainiers. Super good year, but he'll probably go to the Rainiers. And then the other 2, Josh Rojas and Dominique, Josh Rojas is going to make the team, but you got to send someone down now. So who are you going to send down? Are you DFAing Colton Wong? Is Caballero? Is his time finally done? Is he going to go back down to the Rainiers? Are you going to for some reason carry an extra second baseman / shortstop and get rid of a Taylor Trammell or a Cade Marlowe? And Cade Marlowe's been doing super good. Taylor Trammell, obviously not really. Are you going to get rid of AJ Pollock? Is Pollock finally going to get the cut? And are you going to roll with, Mike Ford being your primary DH along with Tom Murphy and Pollock? You don't need him for right field anymore, And then as far as the Dominique Calzone goes, is he even going to make the team? So he was on the team for the Diamondbacks, but is it worth calling him up to be a DH and maybe spot a few games in right field to call down AJ or to DFA AJ Pollock? So what would you rather have, AJ Pollock? Or would you rather have the Dominic Calzone guy? It's debatable. If you want to win right now, I mean, it's they're both not great options, to be completely honest. AJ Pollock obviously he's played 1 every 6 games for the Mariners this year, but he has more experience, probably a better clubhouse leader. He's been with the team the whole year, and Dominique Calzone is just a guy, under 40 at bats, slash in 230, with a 600 OPS is just not going to cut it. So, this you traded one of the best relief pitchers in the game for a 29-year-old Josh Rojas who, had a couple good years and now he's somewhat fallen off the cliff. middle of the road 29th overall prospect who having a good year in AAA, but not meant to be much. And then another prospect who's finally gotten called up this year, but who has under 40 at bats, hasn't shown much, and is not even a top 10 prospect in the Diamondbacks system alone. So I mean, there you go. That's not the haul you were looking for Paul Sewald. If you're going to trade Paul Sewald, I was looking for a Mark Canha. I was looking for a guy above to a league above average hitter, a guy that could slash, and not 800, 850 OPS with a 270 batting average, 275 with a good defense, and you didn't get that. You got a DH slash right fielder. You got an okay middle infielder, and you got a prospect who's granted, doing well in AAA right now, but it's not meant to be anything special. So overall, Jerry Dipoto, not a great trade. I rate it like a 4 or 5 out of 10. For winning this season, I rated like a 3 out of 10. I just don't think it helps you, and I think it makes you worse. To win next season, I think it's a 5 out of 10. Like, I just don't see how these guys can contribute to the Mariners building on a postseason run and winning a World Series, which is the ultimate goal. Is there still time for another trade? Yes. Is this the marquee trade of the season for the Mariners? I hope not. But at this point, I don't know what else we can do. I'd probably be trading a guy like Emerson Hancock or Morales or someone along those lines for a bat. But at the end of the day, I'm disappointed that this is the trade that we've been waiting for. And Paul Sewald, I saw Paul Sewald got traded. I was waiting for the details for a few minutes, and there just wasn't my initial reaction was, okay, Paul Sewald's traded, we're gonna get a good haul in return, or we're gonna get a pretty good bat, and neither of the things happened. So I really think we got worse today, and it's a tough feeling. So unless Jerry Dipoto and Hollander see something that we don't in Sewald, see that he's about to fall off a cliff or something, which is entirely possible, but I don't think that's going to at least happen this year. Not a fan. So there you go. This is the NW Sportscast. Thanks, everybody. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to try to post on here way more often now. Going to college soon, but, it should be good. All right. Go Mariners, everybody. Peace out, and, hey, let's just keep winning and prove Jerry wrong. How about it? Go Ems.